All right. So, how do I keep every notary appointment organized and stress free? So, as you guys probably have known, if you've watched like the last one or two of my videos, as of right now, I can't walk. I'm basically walking on one leg because I had to do knee surgery about 2 days ago. So, moments like these are where it's extremely important that my business is well organized, well kept, and as stress free as possible. Because I'm not able to go to these notary appointments, for example, like now, I have to send them to other notaries and, kind of work as a referral type of thing. You know what I mean? So, in instances like these, and even in instances when I'm going out, it's extremely important that everything is notarized correctly, everything is organized. I know exactly when appointments are being done. And I kind of want to just come on here and show you guys, like, how do I stay stress free? Because a lot of times in life, things are just going to happen where you can't really account for. So you got to make sure that your systems are set in place so that you know that everything you're doing is best put to make sure that your business still functions, whether you're 100% or not. So first things first is using a digital calendar. And me personally, I always use a digital calendar, even for my regular life. Let me just go ahead and put that down here for you. So whether you're sending these jobs to other notaries, whether you're doing them for yourself, you need to make sure that you're using a digital calendar. And if you're not the type of individual that's used to using a calendar like your Google Calendar or your Apple Calendar, go ahead and start getting used to it. Go ahead and start putting some sort of calendar in place for your regular life. So when you start implementing this into your business life, it's not something that's a nuisance for you. Excuse me. Or something that's like out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? You wanna be able to live by your calendar if you need to. And personally, I wasn't always a digital calendar type of person. Like I knew what I was doing for the day and I would just do it. I'll just wake up and do it. But what kind of led me to doing this more was after I was watching a video from Alex Hermosi and Layla Hermosi, basically two big business people in the entrepreneur space. And I kind of glanced at her calendar and it was just packed. And it kind of made me realize, like, if somebody at this level making hundreds of millions is using a calendar and I'm not using it at my level, I need to really step my game up because obviously she knows something I don't. So that use of a digital calendar will take your business to the next level, and it has taken mine, and keep you a lot more organized, especially when it comes to going out into the fields and doing these jobs for your clients. Because as you get more clients, as your life becomes picking up, as your life begins to pick up more, you're not always going to remember these jobs, and you're not always going to be like 100% on point. So when your jobs are needed to be done and you have the location and you have all of this stuff in order, it makes it a lot easier to just live off your calendar. And it honestly just makes the life a lot more simple because instead of trying to memorize them, you look at your calendar and you know that everything in your calendar is how it's supposed to be. So you can kind of just live by that, and it takes things off your head. Next thing I do is I always confirm ahead of time. So you could either do this 2 hours before the appointment, or you can do this like 30 minutes before the appointment. So I'll just put confirm before appointment. So because the majority of people out there don't use calendars, it's very important that before you go to these notary jobs that you remind them, especially if you don't charge your clients up front. For those of you guys that are still scared to charge your clients up front, the least you could be doing is reminding them of the appointment. Because what will happen is the day of an appointment, you'll show up to these clients' location and they won't even remember that they booked you. So then they won't be ready and you won't get paid and you wasted your time. So I always make sure that, like, hey, I send out some sort of automation, some sort of email, or I make sure like 2 hours before the appointment, I confirm with them. You want to confirm with them, confirm with them, just let you know I'm coming tomorrow at this time. Is there anything else that you would need me to bring? Whatever it is, just let them know or remind them that they have an appointment. Even if you got to just send like a quick little text message reminder, this will take a lot of stress off your head and it'll just make things a lot better for you. Next thing you can do is prep docs. So oftentimes, well, honestly, it just depends on the type of document and the type of work that you're doing. But what will happen is sometimes the clients will send you documents ahead of time. And when they send you documents ahead of time, you can just go over them. And the reason I say you want to go over them is because sometimes, depending on the document, they might be a little bit more complicated or complex than the others. So when you're able to just go over those documents ahead of time, you're able to make sure you know exactly where the stamp needs to be. Because when it comes to like more complicated documents, it gets a little bit challenging, and you don't want to have to be in the position where you're looking for the stamp. You want to go to the location, you want to verify the IDs, and you want to get straight to it. You want to be able to just notarize it right away. But when you get to the location, excuse me, you guys can tell I'm a little loud of it. When you go to the location, you want to just look at the documents and notarize it. But when you're there and you don't know what you're doing and you're looking for the stamp, you kind of just look unprofessional. Like, yo, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know where the stamps are. So I kind of like to prep the docs. I kind of like to look ahead of time and know, like, okay, this is what I'm going to be signing. This is what I'm going to be stamping. Okay, this is the type of form I'm going to be going over. This is where they're signed. But when you just have all that stuff just good to go and out the way, it just makes the process so much smoother. So much smoother, guys. So prep your docs. That's a great way to be organized. And on top of that, just organizing your bag too. So if you do have a notary bag, you don't want this to be jumbled all over the place, just messy. You want to make sure that you have your pens in there. You want to make sure you have your markers. You want to make sure you have your stamp. You want to make sure that you have everything you need. So when you get to the location, you're not scrambling through all those papers looking for looking for stuff. You know exactly what you need. You know exactly what you're looking for, and you can make this job as smooth as possible. I try to keep everything like that. Because honestly, by the time I get to the signing, I think about it like this. When you're at home, when you're talking to them, that's kind of like practice. Like, let's say you're playing a basketball game. Doing all that stuff at home before you get to the appointment is kind of like practice. And then when you get to the actual the job site or the location, that's like the actual basketball game. You don't want to be practicing at the basketball game. You know what I mean? You kind of just want to go there and show what you could do. It's kind of like one of those things. By the time I get to the appointment, I want to make sure I'm at the point where I know how everything's supposed to look. I know where I'm supposed to stamp or to sign. It's just one smooth process. So I make sure that the bag is nice and neat, and I know what I want to do. So you want to make sure that all that stuff is planned ahead of time too. And then one thing you can do, especially if you're the type of person that can be, not really good under pressure, is you can have a checklist. This is an easy way to just go over something before you leave that appointment, because maybe you forgot to give them your business card when you were leaving. Maybe you forgot to ask them for a review. But if you already have your checklist in place, then you can kind of just run through that really quickly at the end of their appointment. So you know, like, okay, notarize the documents, ask for review, leave business card, give compliment. Like, if you just have a little checklist, you can take out your bag, go through it really quickly, boom, 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 boom. You make sure you hit all your points. It's kind of like number one, having your digital calendar. When you have something that you can lean back on, you don't have to worry about leaning back on yourself and making sure that you don't make a mistake. You know that you put time into the system and you can lean on the system. So you don't put your trust into yourself sometimes. You put your trust into the system, then you make sure the system works, and then you let the system work itself. So kind of just having like that checklist and stuff already intact makes things a lot easier for you. Next up, you want to track your payments. You want to be tracking your payments, whether you do it through what was I going to say? Whether you do it through like Square, Stripe, Cash App, and make sure that you know which payment is completed for each individual. So that way, when you're going back home and you're running your books, you can actually match all your payments up to who actually completed the job. You don't want to have that all over the place, and you don't want to ask a client for money that has already paid you. That looks really unprofessional on your end. And then it's also, let me just put this up in here too, because this will actually happen a lot, especially when you start doing a lot of jobs. You want to have your backup supplies, meaning like you want to have a backup stamp, because sometimes you get to the job and sometimes it'll be an instance where you use your stamp, it's running out of ink, and you're like, oh, I need to get a new stamp. But you don't always remember to do it. So if you just have kind of like two of everything in your bag, you kind of eliminate yourself having to remember how to do things. You see what I'm saying? Like, you want to just have extra. Excuse me. You want to just have extra of everything. Easiest way to do it. Easiest way to do it. So honestly, it's just a matter of just being prepared and kind of like putting things and system in place to where, all right, if you fail, you know that all you have to do is just follow your system. You know, if you forget to schedule an appointment or if you forget where their location is, you know that all you have to do is just go to your calendar or your appointment book, and all that stuff is there. So I'm a big advocate in like using systems, huge advocate, and that's why I spend a lot of my time building out systems, even like in this notary business. When you do guys do work with me one on one, you'll see like I'm big on systems. Like I have this thing ironed out to a T, and that's what you really need. You need a system that you can follow, replicate, do the same thing over and over, and it breeds results. Everybody's trying to do everything on their own and figure it out, but it just wastes time. Like even for me, as I grow as an entrepreneur and I like open up more companies and things like that, what you're really paying other people for is their system. How do they do things? Because they spent their time learning it. Like for me, the notary hybrid system, I spent forever trying to perfect that to make money. So instead of you trying to figure it out and wasting your years, just use the system, get the money, free yourself from the financial position that you may be in, and move on to the next thing. Like time is worth more than money. So I just like to pay for it and get straight to it. But anyways, with that being said, if you guys do want to work with me one-on-one, go ahead and click that link in the bio. If you want to join the community, go ahead and click on the community. I do a Q&A every other week in there, so you can just hop on there, talk, ask your questions, anything that you need to know. And then also, if you want more tools for your business, go ahead and click and get that mobile notary mastery kit. That'll help you out a lot. But anyways, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Peace, love, and your boy Knowledge is out.